Chief Meteorologist Chad Merrill with your full 7-day forecast.
It's 11:11. Make a wish, folks. If you're wishing for rain, we're definitely going to get that. Goldie and Bethany sent these photos in of the evening sky, but we also had some patches of brightness from the sun, so we had a contrast in colors here. It was gorgeous. Thank you very much for those photos. Louise sent this photo earlier, a towering cumulonimbus cloud in the distance producing rain somewhere. Now, we do have the flood watch for southeastern Pocahontas County. I expect the Weather Service in Blacksburg will expand the flood watch to include Greenbrier, Summers, Mercer, and Monroe County tomorrow morning, and I'll tell you exactly why. First of all, we have the spiraling low pressure to the south, that is called Debby, and we have the showers moving in the opposite direction that we normally do. We also have a cold front off towards the north. So here we are, Tropical Storm Debby, not very organized. And then we have a stationary front to the north. So in between the two, we're starting to fill the radar in. So overnight, if you're sleeping, you might hear a downpour. It might last for a few seconds and then go away. Our temperatures are in the 70s. It's pretty muggy out. We'll be in the 60s when you wake up tomorrow morning. There'll be some foggy spots, and I think the rain will be done when you go off to work in the morning, and the roads will be wet in spots. 76 will be the high tomorrow. We'll have downpours after 4 o'clock. The winds will pick up out of the southeast with gusts to 30. That's all thanks to Debby. Now, if you look on the water vapor imagery, the storm is definitely moving off towards the north, but we have some dry air on the western flank. I think that dry air is going to hold steady on the far western flank of this storm. So yes, Tropical Storm Debby has winds of 60 miles an hour. It's not moving very fast, but it's going to start accelerating north with the upper level southwest flow aloft, that is across the mid-Atlantic. And yes, it's still forecast to move along the Interstate 81 corridor as we get through Friday into Friday evening. So yes, there is still a flooding threat, but I think it's going to mainly be confined to our Greenbrier Valley counties, widespread as you go further north, and a tornado risk east of the center, and that would include the Interstate 95 corridor. Now, I did lower rainfall amounts a little bit along the 19 corridor, ½ an inch to 1.5 inches. That's because I think there's some dry air aloft that will push in and lower our amounts just a little bit. I did not change this zone right here across the Greenbrier Valley, where I expect the Weather Service will likely hoist a flood watch. That's the area where I think there's going to be some flooding. The Greenbrier River is at a very low stage, but it will rise a bit, and a few small branches will come down in leaves only because the trees are stressed from the drought and the heaviest rain Thursday evening into early Friday. We cool it down, then after that, it is a beautiful weekend. The heat ridge across the central part of the United States, folks, and then it eventually starts to warm up in our backyard. So 7-day forecast, temperature-wise, we're in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees, and then we drop into the low 70s all the way through next week with overnight lows in the 50s. Now, folks, we have an extreme drought in the eastern Panhandle, and that's where the most rain is going to fall. So here's a look at conditions leading up to this deluge. Of course, all this rain is coming at the expense of a moderate drought in our region, but an extreme to perhaps exceptional drought in the eastern West Virginia Panhandle, and that's where the most rain is expected in the mid-Atlantic from this particular storm system. 2 to 3 inches of rain that will come in a short period of time. And here's a look at conditions leading up to the big rainfall from Eric Kirchner of Cumberland.
Hello everyone, I'm near the Greater Cumberland Regional Airport near Wiley Ford, West Virginia, and right behind me you can see some of these drought-stressed trees. You can see some of their colors are slightly off than what you would expect in late summer. And the question is, are we seeing even more false fall colors as this drought has went on? And in my experience, I've seen some pockets where I've noticed them more, especially over into Western Maryland along Route 51 between Old Town and Cumberland. I noticed a very large patch of them. And you can also see the the field that I'm standing in back there, and then kind of there on the far left of your screen there, you can see some very brown fields, and especially the grasses where I've noticed the colors really turn into a deep winter look, completely brown. In some areas like my backyard, our grass is completely black. I'm here at the North Branch Potomac River near Wiley Ford, West Virginia, and this is actually a high spot compared to other parts along the Potomac River, but it is quite lower than normal, as you can see right behind me. I asked a fisherman right here, and he said typically the water is a little bit higher up here, but typically the Potomac River is still doing pretty good. If you look up closer to Cumberland, still got a pretty good amount of stream flow. But I checked drought.gov, and they have information on stream flows on some of the smaller streams and creeks, and we are seeing much below average stream flows in much of your smaller creeks and streams. So definitely seeing some impacts with this extreme drought across the area.